Hey guys, Julia here. Welcome back to another video. And today we're just gonna skip the small talk and get right into the setup because there's a lot going on here. I'm throwing in a new spread and I have my journal in the super extra Arch and Olive A5 glitter cover, which was 100% needed because it's hard out here to have like a linen notebook and two dogs. So let's talk about this cover page and I'll tell you guys a bit about the theme. One of my patrons, Carolyn, who also happens to be one of my best friends, told me about this theme generator online that randomly picks out 3 words, gives you an order of importance for each word, and a color scheme. So I thought it would be like interesting to see what happened. So my collection crew over on Patreon chose 3 different sets. Well, they chose from 3 different sets, and the winner was in order of importance. It was lanterns, petals, and dew. I didn't include the color schemes in anything, but yeah, here we are with the theme for the month, totally randomly generated. My method of attack for the cover page and something that I kept thinking about for this was bold softness. So I'm using a combination of that faux watercolor technique I used back in February. I'll leave that video up in the cards and down in the description, but I used that technique, real metallic watercolor this time, and then like a bold, solid gold accent and strong black outlines. So that was kind of my way of thinking through how I wanted the words to sort of come together visually. Oh yeah, and having just like these crazy excessive white highlights. You'll see that a little closer to the end of this drawing, but that was definitely an intentional choice as well. Even though all of these harsh highlights wouldn't be necessarily realistic in the world or anything, it gives it some pop and even looks a little wet. Maybe a little bit like dew. So here I'm going to bring in the petals. I'm going to do a very soft falling petal motif using a combination of Tombows and this metallic watercolor. I don't think the camera is going to pick this up very well, but the petals and everything that ends up that pinky color will have a nice little subtle shine to it. So yeah, with the black outline, I wasn't really sure about it since I did quite like it without it, but I do think it does make it stand out a bit more on the page here, and in theory, it'll match up well with the quote on the opposite page. But the quote page is a whole thing too that ties back into those words. It's a lyric from a song that I actually didn't even know before doing this, but I ended up really loving it. But it's called Dusty Springfield by Blossom Dearie, and it says, petals fall from her glance, flowers sparkle with dew of morning, feathers float from her dance. And I mean, I thought it was perfect for multiple obvious reasons. It, of course, sounds really beautiful and dreamy, and I just love that vibe. But it also has two of my words right there, and adding in the month just before it makes it like a more complete quote and marks the month. So, yes, as you can tell, I'm pretty excited about the quote page this month. So much so that I'm going to cut into the opposite page and sort of have this Dutch door peekaboo thing with my monthly spread. And working on the part of my monthly that'll show through, I'm going to do a super contrasty block lettering style for the M, adding in some petals in the same sort of direction so it looks like it all flows together. And then I'm throwing in some washi for an accent, and that's the cover spread for May. Okay, flipping over, we've already got our right margin done, yay. So I'm drawing in my typical basic grid calendar. I decided to write May over in the corner opposite of the other M, just again thinking about that whole idea of bold softness. So I think having the script lettering up there along with the petals sort of balances out that whole idea. And then sort of hanging from the calendar, I'm gonna pop in a couple of lanterns that I'm using that faux watercolor mixed with the opaque gold style. These lanterns are inspired by Ramadan lanterns, which I think are beyond beautiful, and they're way more intricate than these. But yeah, once I have those shadows in there, the gold accents, and the bold black outline, that's gonna do it for this monthly calendar page, and I quite love it. I do think these spreads serve me the best when they are just pretty simple, straight to the point, get the job done, no really extra mess except for doodles. But yeah, I love it. The next page is for the habit trackers, and for the header here, I'm just drawing in another more delicate looking lantern, and I thought style-wise that it could go with the theme even more by having that mixture of super straight and bold lines mixed in with more fluid swirly lines. So here we are with this lantern, and I'm going to leave it mostly outline and just color in the little gold accents. I'm also adding in a few falling petals here as well, and getting my headers in for my 4 tasks that I track. For the actual trackers, I'm just going to be using some stickers that I made here at the house with my Cricut, and I'm going to plop those right in super quick. I love it. I'll probably be adding these in my new Etsy shop here soon. Definitely be on the lookout for that. I'll leave a link for my Etsy shop in the description below if you're interested. Alright guys, I got a little wild and crazy for my night log and decided that since the Posca paint pen wasn't covering space efficiently enough for me, I was just going to use tattoo ink instead. Yes, tattoo ink. Now, I used to tattoo people. I even apprenticed at a shop for a while. I've tattooed my dad even. But during spring clean this year, I decided to get rid of a lot of equipment, but I wanted to keep the ink around to experiment. So here we are with that. It actually goes on like a watercolor consistency, but it covers like super smooth and opaque, like not like watercolor. It was just weird. I honestly had no idea what to expect, and I don't even know what possessed me to just say F it and not test it out anywhere and just stick it in here. But you'll see me keep checking to see if it's dry because I literally had zero clue what was going on, but I was pleasantly surprised. It didn't bleed or anything, but I do love this sort of faux tab situation I've got going on here for the night vlog. So this is the newbie spread of the bunch, and I'm actually moving my focus check-in here and then basically leaving a page and a half relatively blank for notes, doodles, probably mostly CMYK numbers, just whatever I need. But I've been dressing up the side of the spread with a vintage camping lantern. I try to get it in that same sort of style as the cover page lantern just to tie things together a bit more, but this time I'm making it a little worn looking and without those gold accents. The last spread of the setup is the weekly spread, and I unfortunately lost the overhead footage for this spread, so we're going to be hanging out with camera 2 on the side for a little bit, but I'm fitting 9 days into this first week, and back in March I tried out this supersized rolling weekly layout, and yeah, I pretty much loved it. So I got my lantern in here and my meetings and events grid over on the left. On the right is my rolling weekly list. Well, I'm using my dot grid notepad, cutting a sheet in half and gluing down the bottom half. I've made myself a little flip door without losing a page in my journal or cutting anything out. It's awesome. So I do another rolling task list on the bottom half of the door and then my master project list for work in that top section. Love, love, love this, and how much room I have for busy weeks and longer weeks is just my favorite. But those are my spreads for May. The Patreon kit this month of blank calendars, printables, coloring sheets, and stickers are probably my favorite set this far. I actually use these to make mini versions of the themes in my reading journal, but you can join the collection and get access to these and a bunch of my past themes with tiers starting at just $2 a month. I'll leave that link below for you as well. I would also love for you to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys a bunch for checking out the spreads this month, and I'll catch you in the next one. And if you like this video, here are a couple more I think you would enjoy.